Hey guys, FMOS26 here, and welcome back to TWRL, where we're back racing once again as a reserve here for round 4 at Germany. This was still during my half term, so I decided to jump in for the second week in a row after a podium last time out in Austria. We're back once again and hoping to repeat the result. KJ hopefully won't be as quick as he was last week and we can challenge him. As you can see, we're on the ultra soft tyres here. The softest compound is a 2-step difference. There's no super soft, and it's going to be raining at some point in the race, so we're hoping it starts raining early enough that we can go straight from the ultra softs to the inters, as opposed to having to make a stop onto another set of dries, which will mean we lose out quite significantly to the soft runners. It's a big risk. I might not normally take it, but I'm only a reserve, so I've got nothing to lose. We're going on the ultras. A lot of people will remain on the softs. We're going for the aggressive option here, and hopefully it pays off for us. As you can see at the moment, we're actually purple, which is unbelievable. I don't normally do this well in qualifying. The lap's been alright, apart from a bit of a poor run through the hairpin where we outbraked ourselves slightly, as we now head through the penultimate and final corner, which we've hooked up quite nicely actually. Not my favourite track, Germany, and we come across the line for a 1:10.9 as we now skip to our second or third lap technically, as we have to get out of the way in the third sector there of whoever that was. But we're still sitting on pole. This is just with a couple of minutes left to go in the session as we come round the final corner to start our lap, and we'll be hoping to improve our time and consolidate our pole as we fly through turn 1. Actually not as quick as we were last time. I think we lost a bit of time at the start of the lap due to the slower run we had to take through the last 2 corners as we get all over the curb through turn 2. They're probably not the quickest option, it must be said, and as a result our first sector split reflects that, as we are nearly a tenth down on our previous lap. But as you remember, we were very deep in the hairpin last time, so we're going to try and spot the braking point nicely this time, which we have first gear to get the car swung in, and the delta goes to green. Obviously the exit will be better from the previous run, so it goes back into red, but we still gain a little bit of time as we head through the fast right here towards the turn, whatever this is in front of the Mercedes grandstand. Actually done that quite nice as we head now through this flat corner. If you dare, we have dared, and the delta has gone to green briefly as we now head through this very fast right-hander. Ignore that as we head through the Sachs curve where Vettel bottled it in real life. Taking quite a nice line through there as we've now only got 2 corners to go, still in the green on our delta. We've understeered through the penultimate corner quite a lot. We've gone to red on the delta, but we get a better line through the final corner and it goes into the green, and we improve ever so slightly for a 1:10.8, which actually gives us pole, our first pole in this game. And yeah, I would like to apologise for the track extends on the lap. That's hence I showed you the first lap, to show you that I would have still got pole with that lap, which was entirely clean. It's Codfield in second, repping AOR 5, Coxey in third, Rory's last in fourth, all going for the ultras. Jack RT in fifth and Ben JP in sixth. The ultra runners bring up the top 6 with KJ and Liam the fastest soft runners. So now we have to cross our fingers for the race and hope that the rain comes early on and that we're able to utilise the ultra soft intermediate strategy. We'll have to wait and see as we'll now head to the race. And here we are on the grid. It's very overcast and that is looking pretty promising. Rain on the second little section. The sections are very misleading, they don't mean much, but hopefully the second section means very soon. Heavy rain in the middle of the race. Debatable whether we'll need the inters. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, we have the lights on now. We have 2 lights. Now we have 3, 4 lights, and it's 5 lights. Will we get a good start from pole? And it's lights out and away we go. The start's actually been reasonably decent. Codfield pulls alongside briefly but then tucks in behind, and we've got a free run through turn 1, so this is exactly what we needed. Coxey runs wide in the background and we've got a bit of a gap already as we head down towards turn 2 for the first time here, hopefully avoiding any carnage which does occur behind us, which we have done, and this is exactly what we wanted here. A good run ahead of the other guys who will hopefully now battle, and we can get clear nice and easily and get a decent gap, get Codfield out to DRS. Not sure how long it will be active for, but there we go. We have maintained the lead into the hairpin. Actually looks pretty clean, so fair play to the TWRL boys. We've got a pretty full lobby today. I think it's 17, probably wrong, but we'll say it's 17. So I think the guys have done a good job to keep it clean behind, and it's just now my job to drive off and hopefully keep these tyres alive long enough, or hope the rain comes down early enough so that I don't have to use another set of dry tyres. But as you can see in Sector 3, it is very dark already, so that can only be positive in terms of the fact that it will be about to start raining at any moment now, which we'll have to wait and see when that comes down. Hopefully it comes down pretty heavily as well, so we don't have to wait ages to go on the inters, as it sometimes is the case on this game. Fastest lap obviously at the end of lap 1 as we fly through turn 1, keeping it nice and clean there. And I'm not sure if you can see now, but I believe it is raining on the car. You can see the streaks of water on the halo, which is exactly what we wanted really, as we skip to lap number 4. As you can see, already a long way off our personal best from lap number 2 on lap 3, over a second off. Obviously that's slightly down to tyre wear, but also definitely down to the poor track conditions. As you can see, drifting our way through turn 2. Codfield appears to be really enjoying these conditions. He's caught us back up and he's in the DRS already. There's not really much I can do at this point, I don't think. I think we're just going to have to well, we're sort of defending the position. He pulls alongside. Can we outbrake him on the inside? Yes, we can. We're going to park it on the apex and maybe squeeze him out on the exit, but we haven't been able to do that. He's held it alongside. Not much traction for us, so you can see the car squirming around everywhere as we're still side by side through the flat right-hander, trying to avoid oversteer as we head round the outside into turn number 8 maybe, but we've just got a lot of oversteer there in the poor conditions, and Codfield is able to take the position nicely as more oversteer through that corner. And at this point I'm thinking, is it time to come in? It's normally quite risky to come in at this point. Normally you wait for DRS to be disabled, but with the ultra softs at this point very worn, I'm not going to have much grip. I'm seeing a bit of spray, probably due to the fact that I'm following another car, and at this point I'm just probably going to do whatever Codfield does. If he comes in, I'll follow him in, and it looks like he's coming in. He is coming in, so we're going to mirror his strategy. This could be a big mistake, but with the rain only looking like it's going to get heavier, I think it's worth the risk in driving around on dead ultras on a moist track. A couple of people continued on, but we've taken the plunge. I think KJ has also come in this lap, and from the last race you'd hope he knows what he's doing, as we're going to get released from the pits. We get held a bit as the Sauber pulls past us before going into his box, and Codfield's got quite a sizable gap now as we head out of the pit lane behind Jolly in P9 here. Everyone ahead of us apart from Codfield still on the dry tyres of some description, and we'll be hoping that it's wet enough on this lap. As you can see, turn 2, we've got the car stopped very nicely. Traction looking not great, but pretty solid. As you can see, spits of water now on the camera quite noticeably, and I'm thinking, yes, this is good news. We made the right call here. We didn't go flying straight on at turn 2, as we could easily have done, as we get it into the hairpin now, and now DRS has been disabled. We have made the perfect, well, Codfield's made the perfect call, and I've made the correct call to copy him instead of carrying on for another lap, and this means that we'll be well ahead of everyone, myself, Codfield and KJ, as the conditions are only going to get more tricky. There's a yellow flag for some reason. Codfield's trying to work his way around the outside of his teammate Jolly, which he's done there to move himself up into P7. We're now going to have a look at Jolly to move up into P8 ourselves, and we've just got so much more grip off the exit of that corner. We're flying up the inside. We've got Raw Rizlas, who's had a problem through the fast right. We're going to have a look around the outside. We're much later on the brakes, but illegal overtake because of the yellow flag coming out a moment before, and we are going to wait because it does give you a stop go, which can't really be removed. As you can see, KJ goes past there. That's not a very good warning. We're still waiting, but now he's dropped it into the penultimate corner, and we've got a penalty there, as well as having to give up 3 or 4 seconds of time, which didn't leave me best pleased, because I did try to wait, and normally if you wait that much and he doesn't go through, the game takes away the countdown, but it didn't on this occasion. Obviously we're still up into P3, and our pace in the wet was actually pretty good as we skip on to lap number 11 now. We've caught back up to KJ and Codfield, and as you can see we're swerving onto the grass there and destroying the 150 metre board, and I'll just explain what happened. For those of you who are on a wheel and you want to speak in party, you have to have your pad on, but if you don't touch it, a button, it turns off as it assumes you're not using it, and so you have to press a button every so often, and I knocked a button there and almost killed myself. As we've got KJ now having a look up the inside of Codfield into turn 2, we've got nowhere to go. We've hit the Sauber, and there goes his front right. I'm not sure how. We've lost a lot of front wing there. I mean, I didn't really feel like I had anywhere to go. KJ went for an optimistic move. He said he outbraked himself, and he's hit Codfield there and spun, and I'm left with really nowhere to go, apart from sadly into the side of him. which has ended his race. So apologies to KJ if he's watching. Very much doubt it. And I'll just have ruined my race as well. I've got a lot of wing damage. I'm going to have to come in because you can't drive with orange wing on both sides, as you can see there, just understeering off the track. That's a penalty, another questionable warning to add to the one I got when I was trying to let Rora's last back through, as we just continue to understeer. I'll show you the whole lap just to show you how slow it'll be. Visualize is currently in P3, a long way behind because Codfield, me and KJ who's now dead, were the only people to get the correct strategy as we just understeer further in the third sector. And surely Codfield's got, unless something dramatic happens like a safety car, he's looking odds-on favourite for the win here because, well, KJ's out in the race. I've got to pit for a new front wing, and we'll have to do the stop-go, so that's going to be great fun. So the pit stop is going to be a pretty long one given wing change penalty, probably about 13 seconds here as we almost drop it on the pit entry. Good. Getting the car slowed down. People are going flying past us already. Fredster, Visualize, King Liam, Hayden as well. So we may even not be in the points here as the team sort of serve us, but then remember that I have a penalty, which I shouldn't have. Apologies for what I'm doing with the look behind button now. Yep, don't pay attention to that. But the team have decided to fit a new front wing now. 13 seconds stop if they finally decide to let me out, which they do. And that's probably going to drop us out the point. Rora's last goes past, and that's us down to 11th. And hopefully we'll be ahead of Coxey, who, just like me, after starting third, is not in a particularly good position here. We're 11th and 12th. But hopefully we can manage to claw our way back. I'm hoping at this point the Intis runners have to pit for another set of Intis before it dries up again before the end of the race. Maybe we'll go to wets, probably not, as we now see Jack Sparr's stricken car there on the runner 10-1. Unfortunately for him, he was taken out by a desync incident, and that is us up into the points as we now skip to lap number 16. The rain is pretty heavy. Jeff suggested full wets. I've ignored him. Full wets are pretty useless. Intermediate still seems to be pretty quick. Ben JP pulls into the pits, which is what I want to see. Hopefully he's going for another set of inters and not the wets. And hopefully more people have to do that. Hayden's also in the pits, which moves us up into P8 here, as we're on the back of the Toro Rosso of Rora's Lass, who we'll need to be taking a look at as soon as possible, really, to try and further our charge up the field towards wherever we can finish. I don't really know at this point. It depends what strategies people do, who nails the switch back onto the dries, but we're in the slipstream of the Toro Rosso now. He's lagging a bit. Hopefully that doesn't deter us. We're having a look up the inside. Can we be later on the brakes? Yes, we can. Do we get the car stopped? Yes, we've slid it through the corner and squeezed him out in the exit. That's quite a well worked move actually, and that's us up into P7 now as we skip to the end of lap number 18. It's starting to dry up. Jolly's into the pits. He couldn't make his intermediates last, and that's us up into P6 I believe. And as you can see, lap 22 now, it's looking pretty dry. We've got Boris Letterbox here in the McLaren. He's dropped it at the penultimate corner, and that's us up into P5 now, and this is looking very good for us. I've been thinking dry tyres in only a couple of laps, and hopefully it'll be a set of softs which will take us to the end, as we've almost dropped it through the flat right hander on lap 24, as DRS has now been enabled. Maybe could have come in on the last lap. Would have probably been negligible how much we would have gained. Doesn't really matter. We're in the middle of nowhere at the moment. I don't think we're going to be catching anyone. Liam is very far ahead. I think Liam did actually end up pitting for another set of inters and is genuinely that far ahead. Just shows how much time we lost through the penalty and the wing change and that slow in lap. But grip is severely lacking on these inters now. The rears were probably very badly worn. Nice wheel. And we're going to head into the pits this lap for a set of softs which will easily take us to the end. We should be able to push quite a lot on them, and for once I actually drove quite well in the rain. My pace wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible, and that's good. I mean, obviously without the incident with KJ, who knows where we would have been, as we have to wait for Rora's last there. Jolly's continued for another lap. God knows why. DRS has been enabled. Get yourself in the pit, son. What I also noticed on the track map, if you scroll back to the pit stop, you have to have a look on the track map on the exit of the pits. You'll see a Force India drop it into the wall, presumably. And that's visualised, and I'm hoping he's got damage at this point, which will allow me to push on after him as we skip to the end of the next lap. Jolly now decides to come in for a set of softs, as visualised has already dropped behind Liam, and at this point I'm thinking, yes, he must have damage. And the question is, can we catch him as we now skip to lap number 30? 32, I think, or 31. We've got another penalty, but in theory it can be removed. Doesn't matter, I'm a reserve, but I am removing it from my race time. I don't really care. But skimming to the start of lap 33 now, we have Court Visualize. We were a lot quicker than him, so I can only assume that he did have damage, as we're now in the DRS. We set our personal best there as we start the penultimate lap of the race as we come through turn 1. Are we going to have a look into turn 2? I'd assume not. No, we close the DRS. We think smartly here. There's no point going for a move into turn 2. We'll wait for the rundown to turn 6. I don't know, 5. Who knows? I don't know the corner numbers. What a surprise. And we haven't got a great exit out there, but with the overtake and the rich, we're able to close nice and easy there, pull alongside. He doesn't make much attempt at defending, and that will be us up into P4 here, which should be where we finish, barring any stupid moves as we get the car rotated nicely. And that's us up into P4 with just over a lap and a half to go as we now skip to the last lap. Codfield has won the race. Congrats to him. His first win of the season. I think it's going to be Fredster in P2 as there's carnage in Sector 3. God knows what the McLarens are doing. And Liam in P3, myself in P4. Not a bad race. I mean, it would have been interesting to see where I would have been without the incident with KJ. But my pace in the dry wasn't amazing as it turned out. And it probably wouldn't have been able to challenge Codfield. But yeah, not a bad race for myself. Pretty happy with the result given the circumstances. There's Codfield on the podium. Congrats to him. 63. George Russell wannabe maybe. Who knows. But yeah, and Fred and Liam congratulating him on his win as well. The results will be on screen in a minute. I was dropped down to 5th. I'm saying I came 4th. The penalty was stupid, or the first warning was stupid. But it doesn't matter because I'm a reserve. But 4th place for me, I'll take it on this one, and the results will be on screen if anyone's interested. Probably not. They don't mean much. I'm not racing in this league full time. It's Rora's last and 6th, and I can't see the rest. But yeah, that's been it for today, guys. I'll see you very soon for whatever the next highlights video on my channel is. Probably ILR Canada. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.